Welcome to the Human Nature Channel. I'm your host, Alex Tamsula, and what am I doing here? Well, it's Tuesday night once again here at my dad's tribute to man and his tools, and not just any old tribute, a living tribute. You see that ladder behind me? People actually go up and down it. And a living tribute to man and his machines. I've put new brake pads on my car in this garage. There's a fire in the furnace of the boiler next to me. Excuse me. Alright, we got flames and smoke. That's a good sign. My last video, number 48, was titled Zero Tolerance for Nobody Died at the LVS. And there was something in that video that kind of slipped by me. I'd uploaded the video, I'd come up here at the farm, and hours later it hit me. Wait, you're talking about Dr. Cyril Wecht, and you didn't even put up his picture. So, I would like to remedy this oversight. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Cyril Wecht. Do you like to gamble? I do. Roulette is my game. But my gambling bug comes from my mother, believe it or not. Years and years ago, when she was younger and healthier, every summer she and my Aunt Helen would fly out to Las Vegas and stay with my Uncle Nick, who was really pretty cool. And while out there, my mother would play Keno, and when she'd come home, she always used to brag that, oh yeah, she won the price of the airline ticket out and back. I remember one time playing blackjack with my mother for pennies by candlelight because the power was out. So I guess where I'm going with this is, if you love gambling, there's something special about Las Vegas. There's the one level it hits you at, and then there's the other level where it's like, how dare somebody mess with my joy? I'm only speaking for myself here. There's always something interesting here in my dad's garage. What can I show you tonight? Whoa, we got a hand crank. I think I know what this is for. My dad used to have a high lift, which was a front-loading machine. You'd sit in it, and it had treads like a tank. And you would actually operate it with levers. There's two levers to make the treads move or not move, and you can do things. Yeah, it was almost like a one-man tank without armor. It was a fascinating piece of machinery. And not only could you start it with a key, you could also go around front and start it with the hand crank. Well, I think I got everything I need. I got my piggy bank with my retirement savings in it. Oh, what manner of jiggery pokery is this? My brandy glass is full of Hershey's Kisses. However, if this were a game of Dungeons and Dragons, I would have the magic cottage cheese container. And thanks to a fortuitous die roll, I'd be able to do this. And thanks to another fortuitous die roll, I'd be able to do this. Yes, this channel is not for children. Oh, I needed a slug of that for what comes next. Irv has returned. And as you can see, he is in a protective container, which I thought was a good idea. I underestimated how strong terracotta is. And really, Irv hates that. He's like, "Yeah, don't you tell anybody I made a terracotta." I'm like, "Irv, you're terracotta. Don't tell anybody. I'm fired and I'm glazed." And I'm like, "You're fired and you're glazed terracotta, Irv." And he's like, "Piss on you." I think I'm going to let him out. There's Irv. You toss me around like a sack of garbage. Ah, Irv, you exaggerate. Yeah, Irv. Well, anyway, get some fresh air. You know what? The hand sanitizer. Oh! A sugar canister, I guess, comes from a diner. This is all I have left. So, let's say we pick this up back at my place. See you there. Many times I have started this part of my show by saying, in some Las Vegas shooting truth community news, then it hit me. Who else says this? Who, other than me, acting as a video journalist, actually treats the Las Vegas shooting truth community as an entity, a group worth reporting on? Not that I'm looking for a medal here, you understand, but I do make an effort to bring you the names of Las Vegas shooting video investigators whose work I think is significant. So, in some Las Vegas shooting truth community news, last Thursday, I had an enjoyable YouTube comment exchange with Aces Wild LV. I hadn't heard from Aces in some time, so it was a pleasant surprise seeing his comment. Subscribe to his channel. I'll just read you our back and forth, then have some final words at the end. Keep in mind, the long part of my response turned into a postscript to video number 49, Zero Tolerance for Nobody Died at the LVS. It's why I think the way I do. So here we go. Aces Wild LV. Good to see you. I haven't watched many Vegas videos lately, but I caught this. Few things. Jason Goodman doesn't believe nobody died. I haven't listened to him in a few months, but over the past 2 years, he's actually against people saying those things because his good friend Joe Napoli was at the concert. I definitely don't agree with their theories about what happened in Vegas, but just wanted to tell you, I've never heard Goodman support nobody died comments. Hope you've been well. Me. Thanks, Aces. I have been well. I didn't mean to suggest Goodman believes this, only that he should speak out against those who do. Mike Turber's complaint was people on the other side tolerate those who say nobody died, and Goodman has allied with the side against Turber. Aces Wild LV. I think there's a very small percentage of people that really believe nobody died, and a lot of people are hesitant to speak out and remain neutral, which is fine. But I've only heard a couple of people say they really believe nobody died. Even Alex Jones knows people were shot, LOL. Me. Oh, I agree. It's only a small percentage of people that really believe nobody died. But right now I'm reading Nassim Nicholas Taleb's book, Skin in the Game. Taleb is, among other things, a statistician, and he makes a very good case that small groups, determined minorities, can over time set the agenda. He uses kosher foods as an example. A minority of people can only eat kosher food, but look at how the kosher label is on so many products' packages. The corporations that sell food know there is no downside to putting the kosher symbol on packages because non-Jews can eat kosher food and not care one way or the other, whereas Jews who can only eat kosher sit back and say, "Yay, that makes our lives easier." Everybody is happy. That's just an example of how a minority can have an impact. Steve Piezenik came out early saying nobody died at the LVS. I watched the video where he said it. Now, I know Piezenik walked those remarks back sometime later, but by this point the damage is done. Piezenik is something of an influencer, and this gives license to people who get off saying the most stupid things imaginable online. And there is actually a history of this nobody died crap. There were 9/11 videos that said nobody died. There were the crazies coming out of the woodwork over Sandy Hook saying nobody died. And that's where Alex Jones got himself into a heap of trouble. I even saw a video on the Squirrel Hill synagogue shooting where some idiot was saying nobody died at that synagogue and the Mossad is at it again. Some people out there want to believe everything they see in the news is staged managed. That's known as nuts. People outside of the Las Vegas shooting truth community are not going to know a great deal about us or what is going on in here. My worry is that the minority saying nobody died at the LVS is going to be the first thing people on the outside hear and the last. The nobody died clowns are not the ones who are going to get this investigation reopened and may even keep it from ever getting reopened. Like I said, we're judged by the worst of us. Plus, it was a determined minority that got Mike Turber's 5x5 news channel taken down, which I considered to be an unforgivable sin among YouTubers. When Jason Goodman decided to be party to a copyright claim against Mike with Truth Bomb, Goodman is basically throwing his support to the faction against Mike. That's why I challenge Goodman to say, zero tolerance for nobody died at the LVS. I want to see him put some skin in the game by taking a stance and stop being this nebulous opinion cloud. But Goodman won't. My guess is he doesn't want to alienate the anti-Mike Turber crowd who may be new viewers to Crowdsource the Truth and gasp new contributors. Actually, this goes beyond my pledge. I hope you know that Mike's channel got taken down a day after Mike revealed some interesting information about Paladin. It had nothing to do with copyright. Paladin lived in the same apartment building with a Stephen Paddock address from 1992 to 1998. Here is Crowdsource the Truth slamming the lid down on the truth. That's my problem with Jason Goodman. This has less to do with nobody died and more to do with Jason Goodman being a sneak. So endeth the exchange. We have heard time and time again the Route 91 Harvest Festival massacre is the largest mass shooting in modern American history. But no congressional hearings. Nobody gets hauled before the committees of the U.S. House of Representatives. This is beyond disgraceful. The Las Vegas shooting truth community is a small army, but I don't think it's an organized army or an army that can be organized. It's easy to get people in here to shake their fists at pictures of Sheriff Joe Lombardo. But other than that, can you see any of us storming the steps of Capitol Hill and making the rounds, visiting members of the House of Representatives, making our case to reopen the investigation into the LVS? I know what my dad would say about the state of affairs in the Las Vegas shooting truth community. Confusing, but amusing. Actually, it's not that confusing to me. I see what we need. All we need is to get all of us in the same room and then have somebody get in front of the crowd and ask, are we fragile or are we anti-fragile? Are we fragmenting or coming together? I don't know. You tell me. I'll wait. And a personal message to KL. I had no choice but to make a choice. Well, no second batch of 1,000 words tonight. No 7-minute dash to the video finish line. Hey, the holidays are coming up, and I figure your time is valuable. And what was that, Irv? Irv told me to tell you he's not a maraca. Anyway, I wanted to keep this video short, which does not mean the next 1,000 words aren't being written as we speak, but I thought I'd roll that over until next week. And I really do want to do a song. I have one in mind. Let's see if I can yodel my way through that one. Irv and I are here to wish all our subscribers a happy Thanksgiving. What was that, Irv? Oh, and Irv also told me to tell you Squirrel Hill forever. Have a good one.